This video will look at WilloWare's SpellCheck module for Microsoft Dynamics GP. We added a lot of new functionality for the GP 2016 release. The new features are also available for the prior releases, and we're going to take a look at how SpellCheck works using the web client for Microsoft Dynamics GP. SpellCheck can be attached to any string or text field in Dynamics GP. A string field is something like the item description or a customer name, and then a text field would be the sales comment text, or a note field, any of those windows where you can write a large amount of text. Setting up SpellCheck requires attaching SpellCheck to the location where you want to perform spell checking. So we already have several locations already set up. It's attached to one of the note windows. There are actually 5 separate note windows in GP. That allows you to have 5 different notes open at the same time. So we're going to go through an example here of setting up a note and attaching it to one of the other note forms. Then we have spell checking set up on the item description field of item maintenance. And spell checking is also attached to the SOP comment entry window. So you select the product and the series. In this case, the series for the notes is in System. We've already attached it to the Note 1 window, so we're going to attach it this time to Note 2. And if you wanted to attach spell checking to all of the different notes, you'd have to repeat the process for notes 3, 4, and 5. So you select the form, select the window name, and then in this case the field that we're going to attach it to will be the text field. And click Save. So now you can see we've got 2 notes right here, Form Note 1 and Form Note 2. Once you set up the note, or once you set up spell checking in this window, and you close the window, at that point spell checking is automatically enabled. You don't have to do anything additional. Okay, so let's hop into sales transaction entry. And we'll bring up a document. So there's a couple of different note windows in here that we can take a look at. The comment entry window is off of this expansion button. Now I'll just do a really simple note here with a couple of spelling mistakes. SpellCheck is triggered by a change event in GP. In this case, a change event is caused by entering or changing text in the text field and then leaving the text field. So in that case, the change event will be triggered by clicking the OK button or attempting to close the window. No matter what you do at this point, when that change event occurs, SpellCheck will jump in. If it detects any spelling mistakes, it will ask you if you want to correct spelling. It does this because you might know that you've spelled things correctly and you want to save it as is. Perhaps you've been through this previously and found that SpellCheck incorrectly identified a spelling mistake and you want to keep that word spelled as it is. In this case, we do want to correct the spelling. SpellCheck jumps in. It automatically makes those spelling corrections, so you can see it corrected yellow and it corrected elephant. If there are spelling mistakes, the corrections window also opens up. And it shows you the word that was in the text file or string field, in this case yellow and elephant, and what it corrected it to. This is nice if you've written a large amount of text to help you identify where those changes are in the document. The add checkbox at this point gives the user the ability to suggest words to be added to the company dictionary. And we'll look at the company dictionary in just a minute. SpellCheck uses Microsoft's cognitive services to perform spell checking. So this is a web service, and it calls out to that web service, and Microsoft Cognitive Services performs the spell checking and sends back the corrections. However, you might have some company-specific or industry-specific terminology that is not correctly identified by SpellCheck and repeatedly appears in the corrections list. So the corrections window gives you the ability to add these words as suggestions for the company dictionary. An administrator can then come in and take a look at those suggestions and either accept them or reject them, and we'll look at that in just a minute. So we'll suggest both of these words as new words to add to the company dictionary and click done. And now we're back at our sales comment entry window, and these two fields have been corrected, and we'll accept that and click OK. So now we'll go over and take a look at the company dictionary. And you can see in the company dictionary there's a couple of different views. There's the dictionary view and there's the suggestions view. As you can see in the dictionary, we already have a couple of entries. So in this case, these might be item numbers. And when we put the item numbers into the sales comment, we've found that SpellCheck identifies those as a spelling mistake and tries to fix them because it's a custom word that we made up to represent our item number. We can add them to the company dictionary, and then when SpellCheck runs, it won't correct these words. And so then in the future, you don't have to worry about those getting fixed by SpellCheck. It'll just leave them as is. The suggestions window, this shows the words that end users have suggested as words that should be added to the company dictionary. You can see the word that's being suggested. The count field represents the number of times that users have clicked the add checkbox to suggest this word. The user ID and date, those are captured at the time that the word is first added to the dictionary. So that's the first user ID that adds it to the dictionary, or adds it to the suggestions list. So at this point we can add them to the company dictionary by clicking the plus sign. And if there's other words that we don't want to keep, we can delete the remainder. So that clears out the suggestions. Now if we flip back over to dictionary, you can see that yellow has been added. In this case we don't want to keep that, so we'll delete that off the list. If you'd like to learn more about this product or any of the other WilloWare software, please visit us at WilloWare.com or send us an email at sales@willowware.com.